Sonic 1992 Manga, Chapter 3 by Tanaka. Sonic says to Amy that today's the day of the Hedgehog Carnival, which has a big whale-shaped blimp behind them. Amy thinks she'll have fun, and she has faith in Sonic for some reason when he says he'll enter the band competition. But in this manga, he's pathetic until he turns blue. I have no reason to think he'll be good at anything until then. How delusional can he get? They say what now, and I immediately guessed that Anton would for some reason show up again, and he predictably did, singing annoyingly to a microphone. But why does he keep showing up? He didn't get any slapstick last time, so he'd better get a lot this time. The judges reluctantly give him a 10 out of fear, and it turns out Nicky's instrument is the violin, rather than the guitar. And Anton says that if he loses, Amy's coming with him on a date. This is stupid. Just like last time, I have to wonder why he doesn't try to go on a date with her even if Nicky wins, if he's so disrespectful of her consent. Let me guess. He'll turn into Sonic later and effortlessly win the band competition, right? So the ending is predictable, to the point where I know that his violin's gonna magically turn to electric guitar just because the cover spoiled it. And the only incentive I have to keep reading is that I don't know what exactly will happen up to that point. He's terrible, of course, because he's not allowed to be good at anything unless he turns blue. That's so dumb. I can understand him not being strong, but why does he have to be a failure at everything? That just needlessly mean-spirited of the writer. So Anton, whose personality is so stereotypical that I actually struggled to remember his name for a few seconds, offers him a stick of dynamite as a microphone instead, which he somehow got, and we're not told he got it from Eggman. And the crowd doesn't go run away in fear after that, or even warn him. And somehow Sonic just has the funny looking mic and thanks him. I guess because he didn't see the back of it and just saw that it looked pointy. But why does he believe him when he says it'll be better if he goes with his idea instead, when he's his enemy? And I always hated how one of the eyeballs of the characters tend to morph in this manga for apparently no reason. I don't know what it's supposed to mean here. Why can't they just have actual eyelids that are shaded just like their fur? Oh good, he actually does notice that's dynamite. Apparently no, it's actually a fireworks rocket, in the sense of flying away. At least I'm getting his hands on fireworks makes slightly more sense than dynamite. Even the Boyds and Malcolm in the Middle got fireworks. Why the K at the start of yeah? Nobody would ever say a K sound before screaming, so why spell it like that? It's so embarrassing that they translate Japanese words for sound effects literally, with no attempt at localization. And one time in the first issue, characters just said a Japanese word untranslated because of pizza. Like the characters go foo 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 when they laugh. That's like Pokemon Emerald levels of they didn't localize it correctly. I only knew it was them laughing because of Pokemon Emerald. Because Sonic despairs that he knew he couldn't do anything right, making me wonder why he bothered entering, as if he deluded himself into thinking he was talented earlier if he knew he was pathetic all along. He turns into Sonic. And apparently one of his magical powers is that the violin turns into a guitar. So how is it not a negative super form if he only ever turns into Sonic when he feels negative emotions like this? It's not outright super because he's not invincible and can't fly, but still, he'd be using the negative side of the chaos energy to become more powerful. Clearly this wasn't a concept that existed in the lore. I'm so bored that I'm talking about unrelated continuity. So just because he turns into Sonic, he magically teleports back to the microphone instead of continuing to fly away with the rocket. Yeah, that makes total sense. So why doesn't he teleport Eggman to prison? He's sadistic and wants to keep tormenting him his whole life? Like with Anton? I mean, he never does anything purely heroic when he's Sonic. He just victimizes bad guys. And that just happens to work out well for some people because they're bad guys. But he asked Amy if she was okay when he saved her from Anton, so apparently he is good. Can he only teleport when he's still in the puff of smoke from having just transformed? Why didn't he teleport away every time a robot had him captured? No way the firework would have returned to where it started. That's not how momentum works. Then after Sonic wastes a giant amount of time singing really well, which annoys Anton and me as I don't buy that he'd be any more talented at this with his nasally voice. Suddenly Sonic is hit by something circular with spikes on top while a text bubble says rolling echidna attack. And Eggman says that since Sonic's a hedgehog, he figured that going with an echidna was the logical course of action. implying that they're natural rivals in this universe. Well, foxes eat hedgehogs in real life, so wouldn't it make sense for him to go with a fox? Sonic says he'll beat it to the ground with a spin attack, and when I see Eggman in the window of the mecha, it's really obvious that, no, it's not Knuckles being poorly drawn at first. It's just a giant mecha made of tough metal that he says looks like an echidna. But it isn't one, it doesn't look anything like one. But it's smarter of him to go with this, something Sonic can't even attack. So I guess he was talking about realistic echidnas when he said that he had to go with an echidna. Because otherwise he would have went with a robot that looked like a echidna Mobian. Sonic then stands there and taunts him to come over here, making it obvious he's up to something and just luring him, and tells him where exactly he's standing. It's so painfully obvious that he's up to something and wouldn't let himself die. And somehow Eggman doesn't catch on right away as he uses the robot to drill through the metal stadium Sonic's standing on. He holds the microphone and moves all around the mecha while holding it to cover in the wire, tying it up as I wonder how Eggman got untied last time. He swings the mecha around and throws it. He definitely has super strength. It crashes, and by some coincidence, fireworks launch the mecha into the sky. So how did Eggman survive this? He must have had some rings. This story was by Tanaka. While it does make logical sense that a Sonic with super strength would simply be able to throw the mecha after lassoing it and deal with it that way, even if the metal was too tough for him to spin dash through. And it was definitely creative that he used the wire of a microphone against Eggman, and that fireworks inconvenienced him too. It's annoying though that he triumphed literally right after he was told that he couldn't damage the mecha. The story could have had the time to get Sonic knocked around for a while, if it hadn't wasted so much time on padding. We really didn't need to see Sonic somehow suck as a musician and humiliate himself when he was confident enough in his talent to enter the competition, so you'd expect him to be good at it. We definitely didn't need to see Sonic be a good musician, because it was so predictable and creators' pet of him. It's so obvious that the writers hate Nikki and love Sonic too much. I don't know why Anton had to show up again. It was so obvious that he would try to date Amy regardless of whether he won the competition, so why was I expected to care that Sonic won it just because of Amy? The story was kind of interesting, but sucked until he turned into Sonic, because it was so predictable and hard to watch. All of that should have been cut out so the Sonic fight could be more fleshed out. How did Eggman get untied after last time?